You need to know why I say older woman? People often ask me, why do you keep saying that? Why not just say the woman you love? To them, age is a number, a trivial detail, something that shouldn't matter. But to me, it matters deeply. Because when I say there's older woman, I'm not talking about numbers or years. I'm talking about who she is. I speak of the grace she carries, the strength in her silence, the calm in her soul. I speak of the kind of woman whose presence commands respect without ever needing to ask for it. She walks with purpose, not pride. She speaks with wisdom, not noise. She doesn't need attention to feel seen because she knows her worth was written long before anyone else ever noticed it. She doesn't chase love, she chooses it. And when she chose me, I felt the ground shift beneath my feet. Because she didn't choose me out of loneliness or because she needed someone to fill a void. She was already whole, already enough. She chose me because she saw something in me worth loving, and that kind of choice, that kind of love means more to me than anything I could ever be given. Her love is not reckless, it is steady. It doesn't flare up and fade away with time. It burns quietly, powerfully, endlessly. Where youthful love may rush and stumble, hers stands like stone, unshaken, unyielding. She doesn't love me halfway, and she doesn't love me until something better comes along. She loves me completely. And in a world where everything feels temporary, her love is eternal. What makes her extraordinary is not her age, but her understanding. She knows who she is. She knows what she wants. She doesn't doubt herself and she doesn't hide behind masks. She has lived long enough to know that love is not about possession, but partnership, not about being completed, but being understood. She looks at me as her equal, her choice, her peace. And in that gaze, I find everything I have ever searched for. People often ask me why I say the older woman with such pride, as if it needs defending. But they don't understand. They haven't felt the kind of love that doesn't play games, doesn't demand proof, doesn't keep score. Her love doesn't run when things get difficult. It stays. It works through the storms with quiet resilience. She doesn't test me, she trusts me. And that trust has built a kingdom between us, one I will protect with my life. She loves me in a way that is real. She tells me what she feels, what she needs, what she hopes. There's no guessing, no pretending, no confusion. Just truth, just honesty, just love in its purest form. She doesn't love the best parts of me only. She loves all of me, the flaws, the fears, the broken edges. She loves me even when I cannot love myself. And in her eyes, I have learned that love doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. So yes, I say older woman, and I say it with pride, with reverence, with gratitude. Because when I say older woman, I mean the one who has taught me what real love is. A love that is mature, patient, and unshakable. A love that doesn't fade when time moves forward, but grows deeper with every passing day. She is not just older, she is timeless. And to be loved by her is to be loved beyond time itself. I'm talking about the kind of love that silences every doubt. So the next time someone asks me, why her? I'll smile because the answer is simple. She is the best thing that has ever happened to me. And that is reason enough. People still question it. They hear older woman and think it's about numbers, about years, as if love can be measured by time. They assume it's something fleeting, a phase, something I'll grow out of. But they couldn't be more wrong, because when I say older woman, I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about experience, about grace, about a kind of love that is deep, steady, and real. A love that stays when everything else fades. She knows what it means to love with her whole heart. She's lived enough, felt enough, to understand that love isn't about control or insecurity. It's not about games or jealousy or about testing someone to see if they care. She doesn't love to feel secure. She is secure. She doesn't need constant proof of my devotion because she can see it in the way I look at her, the way I hold her, the way I stay. She trusts without question, and in doing so, she teaches me what trust truly means. She is strong, yes, but her strength is not about walls or distance. It's about knowing when to let me in. She doesn't need me to fix her or complete her, because she already stands whole, but she lets me love her, not out of need, but out of choice. And that choice means everything, because she could walk alone and still she chooses us. She chooses me. And that makes me want to fight for her every single day of my life. Younger love burns fast. It's wild, unpredictable, full of fire. But her love is a quiet flame that never dies. It's not about excitement, it's about peace. With her, I don't have to pretend to be perfect. I don't have to prove my worth. I can simply be, and somehow that's enough. She looks at me with eyes that tell me I am already everything she wants. And for the first time in my life, I believe it. So yes, I say older woman. I say it with pride, because this love is not fragile or uncertain. It's not built on games or fear. It doesn't crumble under pressure or fade when things get difficult. This love is solid, a foundation I can stand on, a home I can return to no matter how far I go. It's the kind of love that builds rather than breaks, the kind of love that endures. When people ask, why do you always say older woman? I smile, because they don't understand. It's not about years lived or expectations set by others. It's about the kind of woman she is. She's seen enough of life to know that love isn't a game, that trust is sacred, and that loyalty is rare. She knows that real love doesn't come from chasing, it comes from choosing, and every single day she chooses me. She doesn't let small things break what we've built. Where others might argue and turn silence into distance, she communicates, she listens, she loves with patience. She doesn't let pride win over peace. She reminds me that we're not opponents, we're a team. With her, love isn't about being right, it's about being together. That kind of understanding, that kind of maturity is rare, and I treasure it more than anything. She challenges me in the best way. She doesn't let me stay small or stagnant. She pushes me to be better, stronger, kinder, more grounded. She believes in me when I doubt myself. She sees the man I can be and helps me grow into him. She doesn't walk ahead or behind me. She walks beside me. Together we rise. Together we build something that time itself cannot erase. And that is why I say older woman, not because of her age, but because of her essence. Because she is everything I never knew I needed. Because her love has changed me, steadied me, completed me in ways I never imagined possible. When I say older woman, I'm not talking about years. I'm talking about wisdom. I'm talking about peace. I'm talking about a love that is rare, unshakable, and real. And if the world doesn't understand that, so be it, because she is my forever, and I would not trade her for anything, because love like this is rare. So if the world still doesn't understand, let me say it once more, clearly, proudly, and without hesitation. I don't care what people think. I don't care about their opinions, their whispers, or their questions, because I know what I have, and what I have is extraordinary. I have a woman who loves me in a way I never knew possible. A woman whose strength humbles me, whose kindness heals me, whose loyalty grounds me. She is not just the woman I love, she is the love that defines my life. And every time I speak of her, I say it with pride, older woman, because to me that phrase is not a label, it is a crown. It is the truth of a love that is deep, unshakable, and real. People keep asking, keep wondering, keep assuming. They think I say older woman because it's unusual, because it needs defending. But they're wrong. I don't say it as an excuse. I say it as a declaration. When I say older woman, I am honoring the wisdom she carries, the grace she lives with, and the love she gives without measure. It is not about years, it's about essence. It's about the kind of love that only comes once in a lifetime, if you're lucky enough to find it. She doesn't waste her love on confusion or games. I've known the kind of love that leaves you guessing, wondering if you're enough, questioning if you're wanted, chasing affection that never stays still. But with her, everything is clear. She tells me what she feels, what she needs, what she hopes for. She shows me through her actions that I am loved, not for what I can give, but for who I am. There is no pretending, no testing, no fear. Her love is calm, her love is secure, and that kind of love changes a man forever. She gives me a love that feels like home. Love with her is not exhausting. It doesn't demand, it doesn't drain, it doesn't break, it heals. When I am with her, I can breathe, I can rest, I can be imperfect and still be worthy. She doesn't ask me to be stronger than I am. She only asks me to be real. And somehow, in her presence, that's enough. That's more than enough. She is not just my lover. She is my partner, my balance, my peace. She stands beside me, never behind. She challenges me to rise higher, but never to lose myself. She supports me when I fall and believes in me when I doubt. She is not just someone I love. She is someone I respect, someone I admire. She is a woman who has lived enough to know what truly matters: loyalty, honesty, peace, and growth. She knows love isn't a game to be won, but a bond to be cherished. And that is why I will always say older woman, because this love, her love, is not fleeting. It's not a chapter, it's the story. She is not just the love of my life, she is the love of a lifetime. So no, I will never stop saying it. I say it with pride, with devotion, with gratitude, because when I look at her, I see the woman who chose me, who loves me deeply, honestly, and without fear. And if the world doesn't understand, that's fine, because I don't need the world's approval. I only need her. And every single day, I will remind her she is the best decision I have ever made. Because when I say those words, I'm not describing an age. I'm describing a presence, a kind of woman who carries grace in her silence, strength in her gentleness, and wisdom in her eyes. She's not just older, she's seasoned, shaped by time, softened by experience, and strengthened by everything she's overcome. She doesn't love out of fear or need, she loves from a place of fullness. When I say older woman, I'm honoring that completeness, the way she stands tall, self-assured, and unshaken by the noise of the world. You see, the world measures beauty by youth, but I've come to understand that true beauty grows deeper with time. It's in her calmness, in the way she doesn't rush to impress anyone. It's in her quiet confidence, her ability to command attention without even trying. She knows that she doesn't need to prove her worth. Her presence alone does that. When she speaks, it's not to compete, it's to connect. When she loves, it's not to fill a void, it's to share her light. And that's something I've never found in anyone else. She's lived long enough to know that love isn't built on promises whispered in excitement. It's built on actions, on effort, on staying when things get hard. She's seen how people can change, how feelings can fade, and yet she still chooses to love with faith. That's what makes her extraordinary. She doesn't love blindly, she loves bravely. She knows heartbreak, yet she hasn't let it harden her. She knows disappointment, yet She hasn't let it make her bitter. She loves like a woman who's been tested by time, and that kind of love you don't find easily. When I look at her, I see more than beauty. I see peace, the kind that steadies you, not excites you into chaos. She's not chasing attention or validation. She's beyond that. She's reached a place where she simply is enough, whole, complete. And when she looks at me, I feel seen in a way that's rare, not as a boy trying to prove himself, but as a man who's finally found his match. That gaze, that knowing smile tells me I don't have to perform or pretend. With her, I can just... People ask me why I emphasize her age, why I don't just say, the woman I love. But they don't understand. Her age isn't a limitation, it's a crown. Every year has written wisdom into her soul, and every scar has become a story of survival. She's lived through seasons that taught her patience, through pain that taught her compassion, through endings that taught her to begin again. When I say older woman, I'm saying a woman who knows how to love right, not because she's read about it, but because she's lived it. And maybe that's why I'm drawn to her, because she's everything that chaos isn't. She's steady where others are uncertain. She's thoughtful where others are impulsive. She doesn't run when things get difficult. She reaches deeper. She doesn't demand constant reassurance. She gives peace instead. She doesn't play with emotions. She honors them. She doesn't just want love to feel good. She wants it to best mean something. And that kind of love doesn't fade. It lasts. So, yes, I say older woman, and I'll keep saying it with pride. Because it's not about years, it's about essence. It's about loving someone who's strong enough to stand alone, but still chooses to stand beside you. It's about finding a heart that beats slower, steadier, wiser. A heart that knows what forever really means. When I say older woman, I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about the kind of love that's timeless,